Chicago Bears and the Detroit Lions. This is 6 in favor of the Lions. 52.5 is our total, our biggest total of the week here in NFL Week 17. We have the Lions who are still clawing, gripping, praying to try to get into the playoffs here. And of course, the Bears are dead and gone. Adam, I'll start with you here on this one as well. If we take a look, 52.5 in this. Is that high enough, I guess, is the question, because we're back in the Dome. We know that this Lions team scores way better in the Dome. They seem to run, for whatever reason, run better plays whenever they're inside. And then, of course, you have the Chicago Bears defense as well.
So the way that I run my filters for EPA, I wish I could show it on the audio version of our podcast because they have to shift the axis so far out to be able to show the Bears defense that it's like otherwise everything could be condensed into one little frame, and then there's all this white space, and then you find at the bottom of all forms of EPA allowed the Chicago Bears defense. So I see where you're coming from with that. I think the question, if you're going to play this total, is what do you think the Lions defense is going to do in this one? I have to take a big L on my thoughts on the Detroit Lions last week. I was texting you guys about it on Sunday. I was texting you guys about it during the week. I said to you last week, tell me if I'm missing something. Is Dante Foreman going to run for 175 yards? He ran for 165. Yes. Chuba Hubbard topped 100 as well. So, yeah, I missed something. And the Lions defense hadn't been that bad since early in the year. So Dan Campbell talked a lot this week about needing to get their teeth kicked in to turn things around. I don't think the Lions defense will be as bad this week. And if we think the Lions offense can turn things back around, are the Bears going to have to try to put the ball in the air with Chase Claypool hurt, with Equanimeous St. Brown hurt, likely to play, but still hurt? I don't know that I trust the Bears to chase throwing the ball. If the Bears are in this game, if you think it's going to be a closer game, if you think it's going to stay within the number and the Bears can run the ball a little more and Justin Fields becomes more of a factor that way, then I could see playing the over.
Steven, we've got a game in which, listen, if we're talking about motivational factors, we know one team has something to play for, one team does not. I think that as we look at this, everybody was thinking that maybe both of these coaches were going to be on the hot seat at the end of the season. Now both of these coaches are comfortably in jobs next season, all this stuff. So, I mean, it seems fairly cut and dry why the number is what it is, because one team with motivation, one team without. One team might be trying to get a little cute and see what, they might be able to instill into the playbook for next year and all the things like that. So I get all that. I'm just not rushing to the window to lay 6 with the Lions, though.
I'm not either. I think we at least put to bed the trendy talking points about Jared Goff not in a dome last week. I think Adam was still very much correct about the Lions offense last week. They just couldn't stop the run on defense. So Jared Goff was awesome on the road in cold weather. He had 355 yards, 3 touchdowns, more than 8 yards per attempt. So I still have full confidence in the Lions offense going back home in a controlled environment in the Dome. The question becomes, can their defense do enough against the Bears offense? I will also say, for what it's worth, over the past 4 weeks, the Bears defense statistically is a little bit improved, at least. I still think they're very bad, like Adam said, but at least in terms of gross raw EPA and success rate, they aren't bottom 10 like they have been for the vast majority of the season. And that has been against teams like Buffalo and Philadelphia and Green Bay. So there's some improvement there. So in terms of my betting angle here, I'm just going to let my Lions to make the playoff bet from a couple of weeks ago ride. I'm not going to bet anything. If I was going to bet on this game, it would probably be Bears or pass at 6 or better here. Just because it's a divisional game. These two teams know each other very well. It's going to be a shootout. So, and I think the Bears offense can keep up with what the Lions defense is putting on the field.
Yeah, this was close to making my account when the total was a little bit lower. Of course, this thing has rocket shipped up for whatever reason. for whatever reason, the look ahead on this thing was sitting at like 48.5 and whatever. It opened at 51. Of course, now all the way up 52, 52.5. So I don't know. Maybe if it comes back down, something I would look at here, but I think this will be a wait and see, maybe an in-game opportunity on the Lions if the Bears happen to get the ball and score first or something like that. Like maybe an in-game opportunity.
Matt, just to put a bow on what Steven was saying a moment ago about the Lions offense, if I didn't give you the opportunity to go look and say which team in the NFL finished third in dropback EPA per play last week, 10th in EPA per play last week overall on offense, the Detroit Lions, like the offense actually was not a problem despite the fact that score ended up the way that it did. It's just that the defense got banged around so badly.